My hands won't stop shaking. I keep seeing her in the corners of the screen like a smudge that flickers with every blink. The lights are off now. I don't remember turning them off. I don't remember much at all except the story. Her story. The one she wrote just for me. I should back up. I'll try to explain while I still can. You probably haven't heard of her. Most people haven't. She went by the username violetglass on a small horror fiction subreddit. No real name, no photos, just a profile icon, an old CRT television glowing purple static. She only wrote one kind of story, slow, surreal, crawling dread, stories that felt like nightmares you half remember, soaked in rot and decay and some kind of deep, sad violence. Her prose was elegant and suffocating, like drowning in velvet. And her followers, there weren't many, worshipped her like a ghostwriter deity. She rarely responded to comments, never posted outside the stories. But when she did post, God, it was like unlocking a cursed tape. I devoured every one. I discovered her during a rough patch. My job was slowly killing me. Data entry for a medical billing company that thrived on human misery. I lived alone in a narrow apartment above a vape shop. The place always smelled like fruit-scented chemicals and mold. Nights blurred into one another. I'd sit hunched on the couch, drinking vodka out of a mug, scrolling endlessly through Reddit or watching decomposing horror movies on Shudder. But when I found violetglass, something in me woke up. Her stories didn't just scare me, they crawled into my brain like a fungus and changed things. I'd fall asleep thinking about the characters, wake up whispering her endings. I read every post at least 3 times. Every sentence was a puzzle. Every detail had a shadow behind it. And then one night, after commenting obsessively on her latest story, something about a staircase that grew deeper the more you dreamed of it, I got a message. It was her. Just 2 words. Thank you. I stared at the screen for what felt like an hour before replying. Your stories are incredible. You're the best writer I've ever read. To my surprise, she responded, So are you. Which was weird because I didn't write. I had some half-finished blog posts, some old fan fiction on Archive of Our Own, but nothing serious, nothing I'd shared with her. I replied, I'm not a writer. Her answer came quickly. Not yet. That was the beginning. Over the next few nights, we chatted in DM. Slowly, steadily, we talked about everything. Horror, dreams, trauma, memory. She always asked questions, deep, strange ones. What was my worst fear as a child? Had I ever dreamed of drowning? When was the first time I saw a dead body? She wanted to know everything about me, and I gave it to her. Why wouldn't I? She wasn't just a writer, she was the writer. I would have told her anything. Eventually, she asked if I wanted to read something new, something she hadn't posted. Of course, I said. I'd love that. She sent a file, a Word doc titled firstdraft.xcx. I opened it, and I forgot how to breathe. The protagonist's name was Ryan Walker. My name. He was 34, lived alone, worked a meaningless job, liked horror, drank too much. It wasn't just the broad strokes. Every little thing, every ugly secret part of me was in there. My apartment layout, the way I talked to my boss, the cracks in my bathroom mirror, even the dumb rituals I did when I was alone, like checking the fridge 3 times before bed. The story itself was about Ryan being stalked by a woman named Violet, a woman who appeared first in his dreams and then in the shadows of his apartment. At first, she only watched. Then she started writing things, pages of description, paragraphs about his movements, his thoughts, until he started to lose control of them, until her words started becoming real. By the time he realized she was writing him, it was too late. She had overwritten everything, his memories, his actions, his life. The last paragraph ended with, Ryan crouched in the bathroom, clutching his laptop, and read the final line of the story written just for him. Then a blank space. I stared at the screen in stunned silence. I don't know how long. The air in the room felt different, thick and sour. I tried to message her, but her profile was gone, deleted. No posts, no username, nothing. Just like that. I refreshed the doc, just in case, and that's when the last line appeared, 1 second after the other. Ryan heard her footsteps in the hall. I froze. A thud echoed from the hallway outside my bathroom, my real hallway. I slammed the laptop shut. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat there, eyes wide, every light on. I kept telling myself it was a coincidence. Maybe she had pieced it together from my posts. Maybe it was a prank, a game. But it didn't feel like a game. The next morning, I checked Reddit again. There were no traces of her profile. I searched violetglass, her story titles, even quoted lines from the document. Nothing. And then my account logged out, and I couldn't log back in. Everything was gone. My laptop was slower than usual, freezing randomly, files disappearing. I figured it was a virus, maybe the file was corrupted. So I opened firstdraft.x again, wanted to delete it properly. There were new paragraphs. Ryan had gone to work only to find the office empty. No one knew him. His name didn't exist in the system. His boss hadn't heard of him. He returned home, panicked, only to find that someone else had rented the apartment. The story kept writing itself, and everything it described happened. I lost my job the next day. My name really was gone from the employee database. I called my bank. My account was frozen. My rent check bounced. The landlord came to the door and said the lease was under a different name. Reality was rewriting. I don't know how she did it. I don't think she was ever human. Last night I opened the file again. It was almost finished. It described me panicking in the kitchen, trying to call someone, anyone. But the phones don't work anymore. None of them. Every call ends in a burst of static and something behind it, like whispering or typing. I hear typing all the time now, even when the laptop's off. I see the purple static glow in the corners of my vision. She's watching me, writing me, sculpting me like clay. I'm not Ryan anymore. Not really. I'm just a draft. This is the last thing I can write. The final thing that's mine. If you're reading this, maybe you can still escape. But listen carefully. Don't read anything by violetglass. Don't click the file. Don't let her write you. She only needs a first draft.